Oh, I'm live. Hello. I'm here. Oh my goodness. Y'all, Mercury retrograde eclipse portal. Maybe if you're a believer of some of the St. Patty's Day stories, we got a little St. Patrick mischief afoot. I'm not sure. I had a spinning wheel of death situation, but I'm here now and I'm as surprised as you are that it popped up. So hello, welcome in for day one of our spring equinox sacred reset. I'm so excited to have you here. I'm excited to be here. Let me take a breath and recenter myself because I was starting to think of emergency backup plans when it popped up. I am always so excited to gather with everybody for these events. We have so many new people who join us for the events. We've got returning TSE, Sisters Enchanted family members, our community members. And I think it is one of the great privileges that we have here at the Sisters Enchanted to bring people together in community like this. Let me give you a little lay of the land, what's going to happen here today, specifically if you are new here, so you know what to expect and nothing sort of sideswipes you or anything you didn't see coming happens. First things first, I want to remind you this is a free class for you. And again, we are so grateful to be able to deliver this to you. That said, we are a small business and it is not free for us to host these events. So I want to be very clear with you right from the jump here today. We do offer programming and we will tell you about it. I will tell you about it as the week goes on. And I tell you that right here at the top, front and center, so that we can have the most transparency as possible and you never feel like, oh man, I really liked this until they told me that they have a program and here we are again. You know it. And I'm telling you right now. So always make the decisions that are best for you, best for your energy. But I want to be really clear from that right from the start. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. I'm going to go back and forth between screen sharing today so I can introduce you to Team Sisters Enchanted and you know who is in the comments helping you out today, because I'm going to let Team TSE do the commenting for you. Now, this looks a little weird on the screen, so here's hoping that it looks fine for you. I think it does look fine for you. In the comments today, we have some of the Team Sisters Enchanted members and some of our lovely Wayfinders here to help you out. I'm going to hyper focus on what it is that I am doing, and I'm going to let them answer the questions. So if you're asking questions, know that somebody on Team TSE will answer you and will help you out. But I'm going to stay on point today, so we stick to our time frame here. I'm Sarah. I'm the founder of the Sisters Enchanted. We've been doing this since 2016, and this is our 9th year bringing magic to the masses and helping women find more confidence, become at one with their energy and their spiritual practice. And I just love doing this work. You've got Patty in the comments today. She's a coach and teacher here at the Sisters Enchanted. She's coming in from the West Coast. So happy early morning to you, Patty. Naomi, she is here in the comments today. Naomi works a lot on the back end of the Sisters Enchanted and has been with us as a community member for years and on Team Sisters Enchanted for 2 years now. We've got Jenna in the comments. If you have emailed in and received responses, it is probably Jenna who has answered you. She's our inbox mermaid swimming up to help everybody. We have Anna in the comments. Anna is my real life sister, and Anna helped write the astrology curriculum that we teach here. And Anna spearheads our experience. So for how our students are experiencing all that we put out there, Anna is the brain whiz behind that. Kiara sometimes pops in the comments. She teaches in our astrology program as well, in our holistic witchery program. And she's just all around in our comments, and she's been a community member for years. And then Nick, he's our one or one dude allowed on the team. We are a female founded, funded, operated company. Really proud of that. Nick does teach in astrology. He helped write the curriculum with Anna. And we sort of refer to him as like our Mr. Enchanted because he is there teaching. And we also have our Wayfinders in the comments today. So I know some of them are here, and our Wayfinders are just how that sounds. They are here to help you find your way. They specifically do that in our programming. So anybody that you see in the comments, they'll usually say Team TSE after they talk. And this way you know that you are chatting with one of our team members. Throughout the week, I am going to share with you as well our values as a company, as an organization, as a community. And this is um, all part of our efforts to be very transparent with you. You have a lot of choices out there when it comes to learning and growing and metaphysics and who's going to be part of your journey. And we really believe that if there is a values misalignment between people, it can be challenging to be in relationship and receive information or really hear with your fullest ability to hear. And so we want to share with you our values throughout the week so that you know who we are and you can always make all the right decisions for you. Today, our number one value is to lead with kindness. Lead with kindness. Now, I know on the surface, we all know what the word kind means, but it means more than just being nice to people. What is kind? Are you being kind to yourself? If I say something in a few minutes from now and you are like, this is so confusing, I'm not smart enough for this, I can't keep up, I don't belong here, I'm too old, I'm too this, I'm too, I'm not smart enough, whatever. Is that kind? No, it's not. If you're having a bad day and you don't like something that I say or something that we email out and then you reply ripping us a new one, is that kind? No, it's not. So we lead with kindness in our own minds, with our own selves at all times. We lead with kindness with each other in the community, making assumptions that we're all doing the best that we can. Remember, in the chat box, you do not have tone of voice, you don't have facial expression, you don't have any background knowledge about each other, and you don't know if somebody is having the worst day of their lives. You don't know if somebody's having the best day of their lives and they're cracking a joke you don't understand. We can't see that in without tone in text. So please keep that in mind when you are in conversation with each other, when you're in conversation with yourself. Lead with kindness with yourself. My objective for you over these next few days is not that you memorize and learn a whole bunch of things. I am a former teacher, went to school to be an English teacher. And I don't think anybody learns through memorization in any sort of impactful way. It is not my objective you memorize anything. It is my objective that you hear something I say this week lights a fire within you, that you leave here every day, or you leave here on Thursday or on Sunday after our bonus group ritual, that you leave here and you never look at yourself in the mirror the same again, because you see a woman who has power, who has possibility, a woman who is not to be messed with, a woman who you trust your own self. That is my objective for you, that I say one thing that gets you a little bit closer to that, not that you memorize anything whatsoever. Throughout this week, I'm also going to tell you a little bit about me. This is important because I write our programming, I speak to everybody, and if you do not resonate with the energy I bring to the table, then this might not be the place where you want to spend your time and keep hanging out. So today, story number one, I'll make it quick. I'll make it as quick as I can. Back in 2013, this is me, an image of me on the screen. In 2013, in October, my father-in-law went to bed one night, and when his alarm went off the next morning to go to work, he did not wake up. He passed away overnight, completely unexpectedly. He was 70 years old. He was due to retire in January. And this was October. And, it was needless to say, anybody who's been through that, some of y'all have been through that, is devastating. It's when it just completely out of left field, right? A couple weeks later, I would find out that I was pregnant with baby number one. Um, and that was all very exciting. I went on to have a model pregnancy, everything was good, everything was great, no questions, no problems. At about 7 months pregnant, I was laid off from my job. I worked for a small business. So we already did not have health insurance that would cover maternity care. This was before health insurance laws changed and whatnot. And so we were already worried about that, right? I get laid off. Well, I go on 2 months later to have this baby. Twists and turns happen as happens in labor and delivery. Those of you who've been there, you never know what's gonna happen. Well, my daughter, went into critical distress, and I had been trying for so long, so hard to push her out. She was very far down, and in the urgency to take her out, she was born non-responsive. She's okay today, so spoiler alert, she's fine. But she was born non responsive, and the swiftness with which they were taking her out, my uterus ruptured, and I was bleeding out on the table. So, in this one moment in time, within a 1 year time period, my father in law passes away unexpectedly. I, perfectly healthy person, amazing model pregnancy, give birth to this lovely miracle baby who is non responsive, has to have all of the life saving measures done, spends time in the NICU, just a couple days. And here I am 2 hours of surgery later. I am alive. What I would learn though from this moment in time, and I wouldn't learn it until later, and why I share this with you is because it's very important to hear this. I truly, truly look at life as this thing that is a beautiful gift that we get one shot at. When I talk to you, I'm going to talk to you very directly and with a lot of passion. I am going to say things like, you have one life to live. What the fuck are you waiting for? I am going to say it like that. I am going to bring this gusto and this energy and this hold you to the fire to own your life, to remember that you are powerful. You were born magic. You were born to create ideas. You were born to create experiences for yourself. You were born with an energy inside of you that is an oracle and will always guide you in the right way when you trust yourself to listen to it. And I tell you this as a person who has been in an experience like some of you can relate to, where I thought to myself, what just happened? What is going to happen next? Nothing for me will ever be the same. Nothing for me will ever be the same. I can't take that story out of my system, and I can't take it out of the way that I speak to you. So I want you to know this right away. When I come at you and you're like, whoa, this is intense. Whoa, Sarah's intense. Oh my goodness. This is why. And I share the story with you so you can understand the kind of person that I am when I am telling you to live your life, to trust yourself, to find your passion, your power, your presence, your pleasure, your magic. I mean it very seriously. I take it very seriously. And I am not doing a good job if you're not a little uncomfortable with the amount of enthusiasm that I bring to you, not being a bystander in your own life. All right. And like I said, I'm happy to report that we are all good, all healthy, everything here all of these years later. And I am definitely living my life from a place of power, passion, and pleasure every day. And I want that for you. What are we doing here? Why a reset? Well, by this time of year, spring is just around the corner. The first day of spring is this week. Aries season begins this week. If you're a person who follows the zodiac, Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. So we start that with the entrance into spring. It's really this new opportunity to reset, to refresh, to think back about the goals you set for this year for yourself, maybe the resolutions, if you set resolutions. If you're a person who picks a word of the year, and you did that, I always pick one of those. By this time in the year, we're 3 months in, so many people have already lost the plot on that. You're already like, well, I didn't do it. I already lost. I'm already not successful. I'm already not going to meet this goal. This is the perfect time of the year as we move into spring to really reset that energy, to come back to yourself and say, well, why did I set that goal to begin with? What is it that I wanted to do this year? How do I want to feel? Who do I want to be? But now more than ever, I think for many of us, the energy with which we all live in this container of the world, this container of society, I think that necessity, the necessary act of resetting who you are in your life, how you see yourself in your life, how you show up for yourself is more important now than ever, because we are surrounded by distractions. We're surrounded by things that take up our mind space. We are surrounded by disturbing information. We're surrounded by confusing information. We are just surrounded. And if we aren't coming home to ourselves and clear in who we are and remembering that we are powerful people who have a presence on this earth and in our own lives, we will get stuck in a rut and we will not move forward and we will not feel like we're making any steps forward in whatever it is in your life, whether that's cleaning out a closet or doing a big life, like a huge life change. You got this beautiful vision for yourself. If we are not resetting how we see ourselves in our lives, remembering that we do only get one precious life and we do not have time to waste on living that life, we need to reset. We just need to reset. And so whether it's your goals for this year, your energy overall, we are doing that here today. What does the moon have to do with it? What does the moon have to do with it? Well, it has a lot to do with it. I said a moment ago that I was an English teacher. I went to school to be an English teacher. I did not go to school to be a science teacher. So bear with me. We're going to do a little bit of science education here today, which is different. I've not presented on this before. So bear with me as I present it to you. One of the things, so we teach here at the Sisters Enchanted, we have a program. It's called Holistic Witchery. And we teach metaphysics. We teach growth, we teach a thought framework to help you be in your energy, calm your nervous system, take confident action. We do all of this together. We blend it all together. One of the things that really bugs me as you learn who we are at the Sisters Enchanted and who we are not is information that's kind of pulled out of the sky and might not, you're like, where did this come from? Is this historically accurate? Is there anthropological evidence to support this? What is the science? I love me some science. I love metaphysics. I love mediumship. I love tarot, astrology. I also love science. So let's look at the relationship between the sun, the moon, and the earth real quick, because this relates to us, and I'm going to tell you how. In case you need a reminder, the earth, I don't know, can you see my cursor? I think you can. The earth, it moves around the sun, right? The earth moves around the sun. While the earth is moving around the sun, the moon is moving around the earth. There is gravitational pull that's happening that's keeping the earth moving around the sun. This gravitational pull is what keeps the earth moving around the sun. The gravitational pull between the earth and the moon, it's what keeps the moon moving around the earth, right? So when we zoom out and we look at this in science, we can see that very clearly. Well, what does this mean for metaphysics? When we talk about astrology, when we talk about the rhythm of the moon, what is happening is we are applying story, we're applying myth, we're applying energy, we're applying the unseen to the seen. We are taking human experience and we're applying it to these elements that are tangible to us. When we look at astrology, the sun represents this idea of I am energy. It's your I am energy. It's your identity. It's your goals. It's how you can see like, okay, I am a mother. I am a mother. I got two kids. I am a mother. I am a teacher. I'm a guide. I am all these things that I am, right? I'm a wife. I'm a daughter. I'm a neighbor. I'm all of these things. I have goals. Like I want to paint my living room. I want to pay off my student loan. I want to be able to hike this one mountain I want to hike. I have goals. This is all very solar. The moon in astrology represents your inner body. I feel. It's your needs. It's your emotions. Now, when we think of astrology, the thing that we don't often talk about is we see the planets right up in the sky because we are standing on the earth. We are standing on the earth. So from this experience, when we talk about the sun, when we talk about the moon, we are the earth in this experience. We are the fertile soil. We are the thing that creates ideas. Just like the earth holds, it's the holder of the trees, right? It is the holder of the water. It's the holder of the plants and the flowers and the animals and our entire ecosystem that keeps us alive. We are the holder of that in our own lives. We are the fertile soil. We are the fertile ground. So when we talk about the moon and what the moon has to do with resetting, it has a lot to do with it. As I mentioned before, when we looked at our science model here, the Earth is being pulled in the gravitational pull, right, with the sun. We all can see the sun. Our entire lives are centered around the sun. The daytime, like what do we do in a day? What do we do in a year? This is all centered around the sun. It's very easy for us to center on the linear. It's very easy for us to look in the mirror and say, I need to lose 20 pounds. It's very easy for us to look around our bank accounts and say, I obviously need to save more money. It's very easy for us to say, I need to be a better spouse, a better parent, a better daughter, a better X, Y, and Z, because we can see it. What's less easy is to access our inner bodies, our inner emotional selves, the inner needs, the inner desires. And let's talk about why this is, and then how we can use the moon as the medicine that it is to come back to ourselves as we reset for the rest of this year. I want to stop sharing, make sure I don't end the call. I'm always so afraid I'm going to do that here on YouTube. This is so challenging for us as women, as people, men and women the same, but particularly for women, because we are so hyper focused on the external. We're very focused on how people see us, how we see people. Don't tell me that we aren't all over here judging somebody. Like you have judged somebody recently where you've said, well, why are they doing that? Why did they say that? Why are they like this? Why don't they just do their hair a little different or do this a little different? Or why are they wearing that? Right. Or like if you have children, why are they doing this? Or aging relatives, why are they doing this? We are all very, very, very focused on the external, so much so that we truly do ignore the internal. We truly do ignore the internal. And not only this, but the external is very assertive. It's very the sun sort of energy. It is very like checklist. Yes, you're a good person. No, you're not a good person because you did this or you didn't do this, right? It is quantifiable. That internal emotional energy, that nurturing energy, it is not quantifiable. It's challenging to say, like, yes, I feel happy. Yes, I feel sad, because we so often feel a mix of all of the emotions. When we look at our society, the sun, the solar, the linear, we tend to call it more masculine, where the emotional, the inner, the nurturing, we tend to call that more feminine, and that would be that moon energy. So, how this impacts us as women specifically, or people who really relate to this on that nurturing sort of energy. When we look at the world around us, the world society, the society that we live in is entirely obsessed with how women spend their time. Have you noticed that? If you are a mom and you work, people want to know what your kids do all day long if you work, right? And now there's questions in society about, is it a good mom who works or should mom be home? If you are a person who does not have children, people then want to know about that. People have questions about it. Why? Why not? Are there timelines? If you are a woman who's a stay-at-home mom, people want to know what you do all day when your kids go to school. If you're a woman who gets her nails done, people want to know, why do you spend time and money on that? There is a obsession with how women spend our time. That is very linear, very solar. We're looking at this thing of like, well, you have this set period of time. What are you doing with it? How are you being good? How are you fitting inside of the box that I've created for you? The medicine of the moon is in its rhythm. When we think of the moon and when you look to the sky, the moon goes through different phases. Sometimes you can't see it at all. Sometimes it's half full. Sometimes it's completely full. Sometimes it's half full again, and then you can't see it again, right? This is that idea that there are ebbs and there are flows. There are places for rest and there are places for action. There are places for getting one's nails done or whatever it is that you want to do, whatever your thing is, you know, whether yours is coffee or nails or whatever. There are places for that because there is a rhythm to life. There's a rhythm to energy. There's a rhythm to your inner energy. There's a cycle to your inner energy. But because we live in this world that is so focused on the solar, it's so focused on the external, so focused on what we can see and checking the boxes. Are you a good person? Do you fit with my mold of what a good person is? That we ignore the inner. We ignore that nurturing body. We ignore our bodies as oracles. We become consumed with overthinking because we want to get it right. We want to get it right. So when we're talking about an energetic reset, when we're talking about a reset with spring, when I'm talking about resetting your year for those goals, the intentions, the resolutions that you set, or resetting how you show up in your life, how you react and interact with and experience this world that we are living in that feels so damn overwhelming, and it feels so confusing and will make you second guess yourself and question your self trust every which way from Sunday, because there are so many loud voices talking to us at all times. It feels unnatural to just be, because naturally we must be doing something. Naturally we must be hyper aware. Naturally we must be ready to respond at all times, right? The moon tells us to be inside. The moon tells us to tap into our emotions. The moon tells us to tap into our needs, our desires. It is the I feel element. For women in particular, in the world that we live in anyway, when we start with our goals, I'm going to lose 20 pounds. I'm going to save this much money. I'm going to make this many phone calls. I'm going to paint this room, whatever, like whatever the goal is. When we start there, we're starting on the external. We're starting on the external, the thing we can see easily, the sun, the external. Yes, it's there. No, it's not. Rather than starting on the internal, we need to start on that inside. How do I want to feel? When was the last time somebody said to you, how do you want to feel? How do you want to feel? Instead of saying, what are you doing today? What did you do with your time? How did you prove your worth? How were you a good person today? What did you do with your money? Now, I love time management. Anybody who knows me knows that I do. It's one of the things I love to talk about. I used to work with kids and adults with ADHD. I love me a calendar. I do. And we will set ourselves up for failure, for burnout, for overthinking, for lack of self-trust every time we start with the external and we don't start with the internal. All right, I'm going to share my screen again because we're going to do an activity here. Let me get that going. All right, here. So the I am, the sun versus the I feel. And remember, if we want to bring this back to what is metaphysics? Metaphysics is the science of the unseen, the unknown, right? And I love to root that in science. I love to root it like, well, where are we getting this story from? Where is this idea coming from? And there is this idea that like we are attracted to the solar, we're attracted to it. I mean, even just thinking of the literal physical experience, I love when it's warm out. I live in Connecticut. When the clouds part, it's not gray anymore, and I can feel the sun on me. It just feels so good. We're attracted to the sun, the earth. We are the earth, gravitational pull, right? But the moon's attracted to us. We don't have to do anything for the moon to just be attracted to us. It is in gravitational pull to our earth. We want to receive. We want to be receivers. We want the thing that's just attracted to us. And when we start with feeling, it is easier for us to nurture ourselves, to be that magnet for the way we want to feel. We open ourselves up to finding the possibilities to feel the way we want to feel. We start to look for those options. What are all the million ways I can feel the way I want to feel right now? Instead of putting ourselves in a box and a hole in a singular way to get one thing done. So many women, it's always body and money. Those are the things. Either there's health goals or there's money goals. I will tell you, when we ask this question, those of you who've taken holistic witchery, we ask the question. And I have not added it up, but anecdotally, I would tell you at least 80% of what we hear is money or health. Those are the two things. And then the next would probably be like a mixture of time in there, like the time to deal with money or health, something like that. And so if we're saying, oh, I'm going to lose 20 pounds, right? And it becomes this thing of like self-punishment because you just want to see it on the scale and you want to see it on your plate and you want to see it in your clothes, rather than I want to feel refreshed every morning. I want to feel confident. And we start from this place of feeling, which is challenging because we don't have the emotional vocabulary for how we want to feel. People, like, we say things like confident, happy, uh, financially fit. Like, we say these like surface level sorts of feelings. because we're very much taught to disconnect from our emotions. We don't want to be too emotional, right? Like no one can be too emotional. No one likes a woman in particular who's too emotional. That's going to be a problem for people. Like I said, the world is completely obsessed with how women spend our time. So we want to make sure that we aren't perceived in a certain way. We want to be good. We want to be good people. We want to be good girls, good moms, good daughters, good sisters, good neighbors, good employees, good friends, good whatever. We want to be that way. And that really disconnects us from our own bodies. It puts us in this overthinking like, how am I going to get it right? How am I going to get it right? And this idea that we could feel and be and receive and be the medicine. Let the moon be the medicine for us, the lessons of the moon to help us move forward. All right, what we're going to do here, we are going to set a lunar intention and a solar goal. This is one of the things I love to teach. But we are going to start with how you want to feel, and then we will fill this in. This is really, you can see we've got the moon, we've got the sun, and we're going to fill this in. You've got that in your worksheets if you want to fill it in. All right, what I want you to do right now is determine how you want to feel. We're going to dive deep into this rabbit hole here of how you want to feel. So starting right now, just answer. Like you don't even have to think about it. How do you want to feel? How do you want to feel right now? For my example, I wrote down, I want you to do this. If you have a pen and paper, if you're at work listening, try not to get in trouble for doing things you're not supposed to be doing at work, then you get a pass. Otherwise, do it in your mind. You can write it down. But how do you want to feel? How do you want to feel? I would say, like right now, the example that I wrote down, because I did write down an example, would be confident. Like right now, like today, I want to feel confident for a lot of reasons. I'm here with y'all and I want to feel confident. Even doing this for 9 years, I still sweat a whole lot getting on camera. 9 years later, I want to feel confident. I look around my home, I homeschool my two kids, and I want to feel confident. That's been feeling like a lot of tension lately. So I want to feel confident. I'm going to start there. Now I want to ask you, and it can just be today. So I do see the question, long term or short term. I'm not going to put rules on you, but uh, if you know long term, you can write that down. If it's just today, I went with today. Like today, I just want to feel confident. then fill that in. So how do you want to feel? All right, I'm going to ask you a question. Why? Why do you want to feel that way? Why do you want to feel that way? We're going to ask this question 5 times. So we're going to go deep and deep and deep. When we think of the moon and the lessons we can learn from the moon, the medicine of the moon, when the moon moves around the earth, remember, we are the earth. We're the fertile soil. You and me, we were born to create. And that does not necessarily mean creating life. You do not have to create life to create. You can create life through ideas. You create through walking into a room as a confident woman. That creates the energy for other women to say, like, wow, I can look that, I can show up in that way, right? We are born to create. When the moon moves around the earth, it's the same side of the moon that always faces us. We never see the other side of the moon. The side of the moon that you see when you can see the moon, it's always the same side of the moon. So to get to our emotions, we have to go deep. We have to traverse to the other side because we only see that one side all the time. We need to get to the other side. So why do you want to feel that way? For my example, for confident, I wrote down so I can stop having resistance. I want to stop having resistance because I feel, like I said, resistance in my home at the moment. I don't like that. So why do I want to stop having resistance? What's your next why? Keep going down the list here. What's your next why? I want to stop having resistance so I can feel better. I want to feel better in my house. What is yours? Why? We're going to do it again. Why number 3? So I want to stop having resistance. I want to feel better. Why do I want to feel better? So I can be more relaxed. I want to be more relaxed, right? What is yours? We're going to do number 4. Well, why do I want to feel more relaxed? So I can have more fun. I want to have more fun in my day to day at home with my kids. What is yours? Why? We're getting to that other side of the moon, right? Why do I want to have more fun? I want to have more fun so I can just be in the experience and not like worrying and arguing and overthinking and feeling like a mom who's not spending her time in the right way because Society tells me I have to do all these things to be good, right? So when I get down to the bottom here, so I can be in my experiences. Well, now how does that feel? I started with confident. How does it feel to be present in my experiences? That feels like a sigh of relief, or it feels like my arms open on a bicycle riding with no hands, or it feels like giggles and jump ropes, and it feels like exhilaration. I just found my word. All those things feel like exhilarated. I started with confidence. I ended with exhilarated. Oh my goodness. If you had asked me, Sarah, how do you want to feel? I never would have started with exhilarated ever. 0% chance. And that feels way more palpable to me than confident does. Way more palpable than confident. Dig, dig, dig. You don't have to finish this right now. You can do it later. Once you're like, oh my gosh, how have I been living my whole life this way based on solar goals and not lunar intentions? How I want to feel. You can do this later on. Let it marinate. Let it sink in for you. But I want you to go deep, 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 deep. Remember, we only see one side of the moon. And when we see the moon in the sky, it's because the sun is reflecting off of it. And so there's this dichotomy, there's thing that happens where when we get deeper in, we get in our emotions, right? And when we're in our emotional body, when we start to take action based on how we want to feel, it reflects, the sun reflects on the emotions, the sun reflects on the moon. And that's where shadows start to come up and stories and sabotage, which is what we're going to talk about tomorrow. Now, the last part here, what will you do to feel this way? I want you to pick something that you can do like today, not tomorrow, today, to feel the way I need to do something today that makes me feel exhilarated. What's that going to be? I plan to find some live music and a Guinness later today. So maybe for me, that's going to be dance in public. I have not done that since, what's happening? Oh my God. I have not danced in public since I was like probably 21. No, after that, maybe like 29. Dance in public. That might make me feel exhilarated later today. What else could make me feel exhilarated? I think that might be it. I might dance in public, feel exhilarated. Dance with my children in public. Pick something you will do today to feel the way you want to feel. This is what you're going to put on your worksheet if you have the worksheets. Your lunar intention is how you want to feel. Your solar goal is what you're going to do to feel this way. The moon, your inner body, how is your energy going to feel? Solar, the thing you can see, the linear, yes, no, I did it, I didn't do it. What are you going to do to feel this way? All right. What are you going to do to feel this way? That is your objective for today. What are you going to do to feel this way? So what we did today, we talked about the impact that the experience of being a woman in this society has on us and our ability to be in the confidence, in the magic, in the presence, passion, power, and pleasure that we were born with, right? We talked about metaphysics. What is metaphysics? Metaphysics is the science of the unseen, right? And so how do we establish that? Well, we can look at what we can see. We can look at actual science. When we think about astrology, we can look at your sun, the sun, as being this I am. Who are you? What are the roles that you fill in your life? What are the goals that you have? What are your wants? The things that you want, the things that you do. It's like, yes or no, I have it, I don't have it. This is me. Everybody sees it. The moon, I feel. This is the medicine for you. It's the medicine for all of us as women. It's the medicine for society to start leading with feeling. That's hard because we don't have an emotional vocabulary for it. So as we start with our spring equinox sacred reset here, we want to reset, realign to how you wanted this year to go. I want you to realign now that we're 3 months in. You 3 months ago, what did you dream for this year? Let's realign to that. Let's check in with it. How do you want to feel now? Are there changes you want to make for the rest of the year? How do you want to feel today? We want to tap into that. Also, as a collective, I want us to reset how we show up for ourselves in this world, how we radiate the kind of energy that is not to be messed with, not to be mucked with, the kind of energy that gets us through without getting lost in chaos, confusion, second guessing ourselves, losing our point of reference as our own source of hope and joy and happiness and power. I use that word, I don't use it lightly, as our own source of power. So we're going to go to this. How do you want to feel? Why? Why? Get deeper, get deeper. Go to the other side of the moon, the side you can't see. Dig in. How does it feel at the bottom to feel that way? Why do you want to feel this way? How does that feel? How does that feel? And what are you going to do to feel that way? All right. That is the lesson of today. The medicine of the moon is in its rhythm. We can learn from the moon. We can learn that rhythm. We can learn to tap into our emotional bodies. We can learn to reconnect to our bodies as a source of truth, as a source of wholeness. We can learn to trust ourselves again. But it takes work. Let me read this to you. This is from our, we teach a program, Holistic Witchery. This is from the workbook. Your thoughts are constricted by the world that you are experiencing around you. Your thoughts are constricted by the world you are experiencing around you. Feel your intention. Feel it. Let it fill your body first and let the words come second. For me, I wanted to feel like I was giggling with a hula hoop, like my arms are out riding a bike with no hands. I want to feel like I'm standing on a rock cliff and I can feel a waterfall breeze, like the spritz of the waterfall coming over me. I put the word to it, exhilarated. I don't want to feel confident. I want to feel exhilarated. What am I going to do today to feel exhilarated? All right. Now, where this goes sideways for us, though, is the stories we hold in our energy that tell us what we're worth, how we should be, the stories that disconnect us from our self trust, from our self knowing, from our self awareness, our self care. As I mentioned, we see the moon because the sun reflects on it. The more that you show up in your life, in your feeling and how you want to feel, you are going to make people so worried. They're going to be confused. They're going to be like, who even is this person that I thought I knew? What are they doing? They're asking for too much. And then the shadows start to come out. The sun's reflecting. We see the shadows and we have to do shadow work. That's what we are going to talk about tomorrow. We're going to talk about the stories tomorrow. We're going to talk about shadow work tomorrow. But today, your assignment, dig in. How do you want to feel? What are you going to do to feel that way? All right. On your content page where you will find the replay for today's video, you'll find all of the extra resources we have for you. In a little bit, when the replay is there, we're going to put a text box with the replay. So you'll need to get this link out of your email. You can put in the spell of the day. When you do the spell of the day, all 4 days, on Friday, we'll email out the people who do the spell of the day a free gift. It's a chakra journal PDF, so you can do it digitally or print it out. And you'll want to type that in. Don't worry, we can help you out if you get confused. Just reply to any emails we send you, and Jenna will help you out. But it will be on your content page with all of your PDFs with the replay in just a little bit when we get the replay up for you. The spell of the day, you're going to want to write this down. I determine how I want to feel. I determine how I want to feel. We don't check for spelling. The system will capture it. It will be okay. I determine how I want to feel. So you're going to type that in there and you're going to put it in. Now I just see this comment from Melissa telling, looks like replying back that it's okay to not know how you want to feel. And that's something we're going to talk about as we move on forward with this week. And that really is that we are so disconnected from our own emotional bodies that whether we're actively choosing it for the first time or we're in the thick of it and we feel so bad that we don't know how to feel otherwise. And that will when we talk about our stories tomorrow, we talk about self-trust on Wednesday. We're going to start putting some of these pieces together. All right. So you'll have all the instructions for your spell of the day. You will be able to put it on the content page. You'll want to type it in there, and we'll have the replay up for you just as soon as we can. If you are in the VIP sessions, we're going to head over to Zoom, get those started now. Don't forget, do your homework. How do you want to feel? Why? What does that feel like? What are you going to do to feel that way? And that is the first step in our spring equinox sacred reset. All right, y'all. I am done for today. It's so great to gather with you. I hope to see you tomorrow where we dive into the chakras and shadow work and all of the self elements of your energy. And I will see you then. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. And I'll see you in VIP if you're there. Otherwise, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye, everyone.